Hey there, this is Rick. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today I'm on a bit of a mission to find some poo. Right then, before we do anything else, let's have a quick look around and see what's what, shall we? It looks like the spuds might have a bit of an issue. They're going yellow. I think we could be having some blight issues over this side and some sort of wilting issues over this side, which is obviously not very good. Fortunately, my allotment friend Jim has just given me some of this, which is Dethane 945, which apparently is supposed to be good for blight. And so I shall be watering all of these with some of this. I'll go through and take off any of the really rotten bits, and I shall bag those up because I'm not going to put those in the compost. But hopefully I can save the spuds using this stuff. And I think it was last year I had exactly the same issue, and I used some of this stuff and we kind of got away with it. So I should be doing that very shortly. The lettuce, I really do not fancy it. And I noticed it is absolutely plastered in these hundreds of these caterpillars. So these are all coming up today. I'm just going to pull them. I'm not going to eat them, and I'm not going to just have a big feast here for the caterpillars because they'll only breed and multiply. So they're going today. Now, in this whole manure gathering quest, the manure that I've got access to isn't necessarily that well rotted, and it needs a little bit of time to rot down. So what I was thinking of doing was getting trailer loads and putting them in here in this second composter. Now the thing is, there's already some material in there that is usable, so what I'm probably going to do is shovel that into some of these beds that need topping up, like these ones over here, and then we can just put the manure in there and then just kind of forget about it for a year. And then hopefully it'll be really good by the time I come around to needing to use it. Now you may have noticed, got another building here. Well, actually it's not a new building, it's actually the shed that used to be there, and it's had a few little extension-y bits built onto it. You may have also noticed I've got a neighbour. This is John, my new allotment neighbour. How you doing, John?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, no worries. So, looking good.
I'm going to do 3 nice plots here for this year, keep it small, and then think about expanding next year. I'll keep it manageable for this year.
Yeah, small is good. One of the biggest advices you'll ever find for new allotment people is do little and often, not like take the whole on in one go, because it just doesn't work. So many people end up walking away.
Lose interest.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a man's challenge, but if you just do it small, start off with the advice I've been given, learn as I go on.
That's good advice. Well, no doubt we will be talking to John on and off. So good luck with that, John. I'm going to clear off in a minute and get some bits done, but I'll no doubt probably talk to you later. In the greenhouse, we've got signs of life. Okay, the spinach is starting to come up. Little seedlings are poking their heads through already. I've been in every other day to just put a bit of water on them because obviously it's quite warm in here, so we don't want things drying out. But also, looks like the Swiss chard is making an appearance, which is marvellous, apart from in this one. That's interesting. So hopefully in not too much time I should actually be able to start harvesting, especially from the spinach side of things, and I look forward to that. I've also managed to weed every single one of these beds along here, and the beautiful thing of the fact that these are just small, 2x3, 2x4 beds, it hardly took any time at all, about a quarter of an hour to completely weed these. Now clearly some of these beds need topping up because they're all a bit low. So I'm going to use the soil that is in this compost bed. This is perfectly usable now. And I also get to use my new shovel. This is a brand new shovel which I specifically bought in order to shovel manure into the trailer, because the only thing I've got really is a little spade. Would have been there all day. So let's start shoveling this and putting it into these beds. I'll just get that nearer so it doesn't spill out everywhere. Oh, that's marvellous. What a great shovel. Oh, I feel like a JCB. I'll go for this one first, I think. Now there is something back here at home that I also want to show you, and that is this plant here. This is a pepper plant, or sorry, it's a chili plant, not a pepper plant, and it came from some seeds that Gary Entropy sent to me. This is a Japanese chili plant, and it's got one chili on it. Literally, the whole plant. Actually, I'm lying. It's got another tiny little one just there. Now, I know Gary lost his whole crop of Japanese pepper plants. So if I can save the seeds from that one chili, I will do so. And Gary, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want me to send you back some of those chili seeds, hopefully you can carry on with them next year. But I think this is, I seem to recall you saying that this was a fourth generation from one that you'd got from somebody you knew in Japan. So it would be a shame for you not to be able to continue on with it. So if we can save the day with that chili and the seeds in it, then we can have a go. Let me just show you the garden quickly while I'm here from the conservatory window. Hopefully you can see through the glass okay without too much reflection. I haven't done a huge amount with the garden. Obviously it looks okay with the flowers in the pots. Some of them are kind of going over now over this side. I have got lots of tomato plants, which is good. Sorry, tomatoes, if you can see them, hopefully. And I've also planted, earlier in the year, I planted 3 trees. This one's a plum, that one's an apple, and that one down the end is a pear. And they're great, you know, they're growing up quite well. I did have a slight disease issue on the middle one, but I managed to get rid of that with some neem oil, which was good, some tea tree oil. I sprayed, where is it, tea tree oil, sprayed that on it, diluted, and it took care of things, which is good. But they've got absolutely no crop on them, and I think the reason for that is I planted them, or I ordered them and planted them in the spring before they had a chance to get any blossoms on them. So hopefully next year they'll get blossoms on them and they'll be just fine and they'll actually produce a crop. But everything else looking good. I've got a load of tomatoes in that tub back there. They were all sort of left over and a bit crammed together, so the tomatoes are quite small on them, but I'm not too worried. Anyway, that was just a quick look at the garden. Right, let's get back to the allotment. Now, with these spuds, I'm going to prepare them for spraying, but what I'm going to do is remove the dead leaves, and these are not going in the compost, these are going in the rubbish at home for landfill. There's no way you want to put these anywhere near compost and things, just in case it is blight, which I think this is. I'm going to take these gloves home and wash them as well, just so that I avoid contamination. I did have a go at weeding earlier, but it is nigh on impossible with this chicken wire here. So there's a very strong lesson to be learned there, is if you're going to cover everything with chicken wire, make sure you remove the chicken wire before the plants grow through it, otherwise it's just going to make life really awkward for you. There we go, I think I got the worst of it. Just do the same over here. These are looking a bit wilty. It's interesting, they're looking blighty and these are looking wilty. And there is a condition, something wilt, I can't remember the name of it. I was looking it up this morning, and it's nasty stuff. It's caused by a virus, and they say if you've got it, don't use the same soil for the next 7 years for the same type of crop. So I'm going to have to remember somehow not to use these beds for potatoes for the next 7 years. And knowing me, the chances are I'm probably not actually going to remember that. Still, never mind, it'll keep life interesting. Right, there we go. I think I got the worst of it, and I'll pour on some of that chemical now, and hopefully that'll take care of things. I'll keep my eye on things for the next few weeks and see what happens. But that is going to be destroyed. Now, most of you will know that I don't enjoy the idea of using chemicals. I've tried to avoid them at all costs, but sometimes there's a balance to be struck between losing your entire crop and using the absolute minimal to try to save it. That's exactly what I did last year with the dithane on the potatoes, and I actually got a crop out of it, and it was a good crop. These are the lettuce. I really don't fancy them. They're covered in loads and loads of eggs and caterpillar eggs and things, which is a shame because these are really nice big crispy lettuces, but I just do not fancy them at all. But apart from being eaten, these are actually quite fine specimens of lettuce. But I seem to recall I had this issue last year with the brassicas. I had some dinosaur kale and they grew up beautifully and they looked amazing, and I got a very small crop out of them, and then I came down one day and the whole lot was just covered in these caterpillars. I'm assuming these are the caterpillars of the cabbage white, but for next year I have got some nets ready to go in, so hopefully I can actually grow some things that the cabbage whites can't actually physically get involved with. Look at these, look, covered in caterpillars. Oh well, they can enjoy munching these on to their heart's content in the compost, because I really don't fancy them. Actually, it's a shame because these look fantastic on the outside. It's just such a shame they got just covered in caterpillars. So don't fancy them now. Okay, I'm not going to plant any more in this bed this year. The only thing I'm going to put on this bed is some manure, but of course I have to go off and get it. So I'm going to hitch up the trailer and we'll head off out somewhere and see if we can find ourselves some poo. Right then, let's have a look and see what we've got here. So here's the little quandary I've got. One trailer full of manure and one destination for the manure. The problem I've got is I can't fit the trailer through either here or down there. I've actually tried fitting it. Now I was trying to be really careful when I set all of these beds up, so that once they were down, I didn't have to worry about anything ever again. But in hindsight, and there's no way I could have predicted this, in hindsight, this bed, if I was to remove this bed and this bed, I would have a clear run for the trailer to go straight into the compost area. I'm kind of pondering whether I actually want to take up these beds, and I don't really want to do that, because when you think about it, how often am I going to be wheeling manure into there? Probably not going to be very often. I've also thought about using a 1-ton bag and tipping the trailer into the 1-ton bag and just kind of leaving 1-ton bags at the other end there, but to be honest, it's just not that practical and they're going to get in the way. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just do it the old-fashioned way, and I'm just going to have to wheel it into the wheelbarrow, or scoop it into the wheelbarrow and then just wheelbarrow it in. Right, a thought has just occurred to me actually. I've just offloaded 2 wheelbarrow loads into the compost area, but I'm thinking at the end of the season, which is sort of now, you're supposed to put the manure onto the beds and let the worms, you just put it on the top of the beds and you let the worms kind of pull it all through and mix it up over the course of the winter, and then when it comes to spring your beds are ready to go. So I'm thinking, well, why handle it twice by putting it in there and then taking it out and putting it on the beds? Why don't I just put it straight on the beds? So I think that's what I'm going to do. Right, let's give that a little rake and see if that gives a good coverage. That's just over half a wheelbarrow, and I'm quite happy with that. If I just leave that, that's basically probably, I don't know, 1 inch, 2 inches of coverage, and if I just leave that, I'm going to see what happens. Hopefully no weeds will grow in it because it's too strong and it'll just burn off anything that tries to grow now. But once the worms have got in there, turned it over, the frost have got at it, it gets broken down, I'm hoping in spring it's going to be a really nice potent bed to grow on. Do feel free to let me know the error of my ways if I'm doing this wrong, but this is what I'm running with for now. Ooh. There we go, that's bed number 2. So basically I've got no intention of using these beds this side of the spring, so these can be left to sort themselves out. I'm wondering if the cats are going to attack these. I'm pretty sure just the smell of that is going to put off any cats going anywhere near them. I would like to do this bit, but I've got radish in there, so I'll do that later in the year. But I don't think I need to cover them up. I'm going to leave them open so I can fold these away. I can, of course, put the chicken wire down just to stop the cats. That'll be fine, but it still means the weather can get to it and do what it's going to do. This is what everybody's been saying I need to do at the end of each season, is just put manure all over the beds and it'll be ready for the next year. So finally actually managing to do that now. How cool. You'll be pleased to know John has now dug his 2 beds. Is it just me or do they look like graves? Is there something you're not telling me?
That chicken pretty fat.
Oh dear. I'll tell you what, if they do When they do a plot inspection, I would just so love to be a fly on the wall.
You gotta have a laugh.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad I got a plot holder next to me who's got a sense of humour.
Wait till Halloween.
Oh God.
You'll be stood there, someone will jump out of here.
Yeah.
Morning!
There we go. So I was right, it does look like a grave.
There you go.
Mad. You're madder than I am. So there we go. All in all, quite a productive day. This is currently empty. I only actually got one trailer load of manure today, but that one trailer load has actually serviced probably half of the beds I've got here, so I'm really pleased about that, and I shall go and get another trailer load possibly tomorrow. So basically every one of these beds right the way down here has been topped up and then covered over with a good couple of inches of manure, and now these are basically have been put to bed for the autumn, and I can forget about them now, and I can hopefully start on them in the spring. Now what I'm hoping is, because the manure is still quite strong, nothing's going to grow through. If it does, I may have to address that and perhaps cover them over with black polythene, but for now I've just kind of left them open and got the chicken wire on. I've also done these 3 beds, so they're ready for next year. These beds down here, these ones have still got radish in, these have still got the beetroot in, and obviously still got my potatoes up here, but these 2 beds have been done as well. So I'm really kind of hoping that I don't need to do any more to these now until next year. Obviously still got these to worry about, and these 2 deep ones here. I can sort these out next time I'm down, or at my leisure, and hopefully like I say, I'll go and get more manure. I was quite impressed actually with one trailer load of manure. It's only a little tiny trailer, but that one trailer load really went far. So I just basically need one more trailer load to do these beds, and then maybe another 2 or 3 trailer loads to fill up that reservoir, and then that can sit there until I need it next autumn. All theory of course, but hopefully it will pay off next year, and we should get some really good crops with well-fed soil. And it's taken me, I don't know how long Rick's allotment's been going for, but it's taken me until now, which is years, to actually get to the stage where I'm putting manure on top of the soil in order to nourish it. Up until now I've just used soil, little bits of fertilizer here and there, and with some successes, but not outstanding results. So I'm really looking forward to next year, and what the potential is for really properly getting some decent produce. So I'm kind of getting a little bit excited about next year now, which I'm really happy about, because for a little while my enthusiasm for this place was waning a little bit. I think it was more to do with the fact that I went through that phase of not having any energy, but seeing this now the way it is, it's I kind of want next spring to come around pretty quickly so I can get stuck in and start growing some really big things, because that's what I want to do. I will leave a few beds untouched by manure, basically because some things don't like rich soil, certain lettuces, leti, whatever the plural is for lettuce, and also I've still got some F1 winter cabbage seeds that I need to sow, so I'm going to need a bed to put them in, obviously that hasn't got manure on it, because it's going to be too strong and it'll burn them. Now I won't be here next week. I've got other things that I need to be doing, so I'm not going to have time to make an allotment video next week, but I will be back the week after, and then hopefully from there on. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching guys, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.